Hey guys, what's happening? So here's what I think Liverpool need to do as their main focus in this upcoming summer transfer window. Picking up something I discussed in the Redmen TV podcast. It's amazing, go and listen to it. Whilst I've talked about Virgil van Dijk being Liverpool's #1 target, we need to sort the defence out with absolute certainty. Liverpool need to concede less goals. At the time of filming, I think we conceded 20 more goals than Spurs. A lot of that will be the difference between why they're challenging for the title and why we're limping towards 4th or 5th place in the league. Before we get into it, I want to ask a simple question for people watching. Who is Liverpool's best player? Blurt it out, shout at the screen, shout it to your neighbour, write it in the comments, whatever. Put this out as a poll on Twitter, and I think it was 56% came back as Sadio Mané, or 55%. Phil Coutinho was second, Firmino was third, and then we got some shouts for the likes of Lallana, for a little bit for Wijnaldum, what have you. And listen, I completely agree, but what I think Liverpool needs is a talismanic player, and I'm not certain Mané is that. I think Sadio Mane is tremendous. I think Phil Coutinho is tremendous. I think Bobby Firmino is great as well. And I think Adam Lallana's got that ability. But I look around the genuinely top teams and I look at the players they've got available to them. And I think what Liverpool have lacked and what this end to the season has shown more than anything else is that we lack that guy, that go-to guy, that when the chips are down, when stress levels are high, when the pressure is built up to the highest level it can possibly be, who is that guy that you want to give the ball to at Liverpool? Who is that man who you turn around, you're in the shit, and here he is. Here's the guy who you're going to pass the ball to, going to solve all of your problems. And while I'm totally bought in on the philosophy of the team being the most important thing, and it's not necessarily about individuals, no matter what you do, every team has got a player who's better than every other player in the team. Listen, Barcelona have got Neymar, and they've got Luis Suarez, who we would put off pick a nut, pick a finger, a hand, whatever. Most of us would separate ourselves from a body part. Probably anyway, to have Luis Suarez back. Not the best players in the team. The best player in the team is Leo Messi, and he's the guy who crops up and wins games for you, as evidenced by El Clasico last weekend. Last minute, crops up, scores the goal, and takes the plaudits, and rightly so. Now, we were blessed in some regards by just having one naturally at the club at all times. We had Steven Gerrard for so long and he was that guy for us. All we ever needed was another one. And I think with Sadio Mane, I think we've got the potential for that, but I'm not sure that he is that guy. And look, he scores the winner in the Merseyside derby. That's kind of what I'm talking about. That's the kind of thing that we need, but I'm not sure that he is that guy. I think he's a guy that causes problems left, right and centre, but I'm not sure he is the absolute be all and end all go-to man, because I'm being honest, I don't think he's world class. I think he can be world class, but I don't think he's there yet. I think another season at this level that he's at this season, I think maybe, yeah. But I look at Man City, it's Sergio Aguero, and then it's David Silva, and then let's be honest, beyond that, it might even be Kevin De Bruyne as well. You look at Chelsea, who's the guy you give it to? It's Eden Hazard, and if it's not Eden Hazard, it's probably Diego Costa. They do not crumble under that pressure. They make the right decisions time and time again. Look at Arsenal. Without doubt, it's Alexis Sanchez. In addition to that, you could maybe say Mesut Ozil, because the guy's been there, he's played at the highest level. They're just canny. These are guys who not just got the raw talent and ability, but they've got a level of experience to carry with it as well, so they don't get flustered in tight situations. And equally, look at Manchester United. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, okay, out for the rest of the season, but look at the League Cup final. Guy crops up in a pressure situation and wins a piece of silverware for the team. And the best players, the players that handle pressure the most, cost you the most money. And I think whilst I'm bought in on Liverpool's overall modus operandi and the ethic, their ethos. Some people don't like it, I don't mind it. I like the idea of buying talent and building them up and making them amazing. That's what Liverpool have always done. But, and there's a lot of people who don't like the ownership and they don't like this setup, and that's fair enough. But I do feel personally, I'm starting to maybe come to the realisation that I'm not saying wholeheartedly throw this out, but Liverpool need to go and make a statement signing this summer. It might be someone like Van Dijk. Maybe you can do this from the back, but for me personally, I think it's a guy who needs to be right in the heart of things, and it's a guy who knows how to win at all costs, but has the experience of playing in such big games that he just, we need people who deliver on the highest level. And I think we can learn to a certain degree, but I just think it can kick us on a level. I think the players who've got the potential there, look at that forward three for us. There are a few potentially better forward threes when they're on fire. Coutinho, Firmino, Mané, sure. Lallana back and behind them, Wijnaldum behind that. I think that's terrific. But I do think this doesn't necessarily need to be a guy who's 27, 28. This could actually be a guy who, in the Zlatan mould, it could be a guy in his 30s who's maybe, he's not going to play 50 games for you. But that is exactly what Liverpool don't have in this squad. In the absence of Steven Gerrard, we don't have a player. We don't have a world-class or a formerly world-class player. Even Manchester United, look, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, world class, is out injured. They can bring Wayne Rooney in, not world class, but formerly world class, and has played at the highest level, won titles, knows exactly the stakes, and knows what to do in those situations. So for me, I don't necessarily think it needs to be a £100 million signing. You don't need to go out and necessarily buy Antoine Griezmann to solve this problem. And I don't necessarily know what the answer is to who this player is, but we simply haven't replaced Steven Gerrard. Even when Steven Gerrard, you know, we're not talking Istanbul Steven Gerrard here, when he was one of the best players in the world. 13, 14, he was a waning power, but again, he was able to call upon that experience. And yeah, you know, ultimately, you know, things fell apart, obviously, but look at what he contributed to that team. His experience was absolutely invaluable, and we don't have that. And I look back to Liverpool teams in the past. We've had potential players who can make that step up, but we've always had someone who's in place, an existing world-class player, to help raise the level of the players around them. Look at it, for example. Fernando Torres wasn't world-class when he signed, but he played alongside a world-class Steven Gerrard and brought him up to the level and maybe even beyond. Look at it in years gone by prior to that. You have Michael Owen, but again, you had a Steven Gerrard there, but also around them, you put experienced players. The treble winning side, we brought Gary McAllister in, who again, you know, people might say Gary McAllister wasn't at a world level, but, you know, he'd won a league title with Leeds United. He was a top quality talent. He played so much football. He had all that experience to call upon, and he was the cool head in tight situations, scoring penalties against Barcelona in the UEFA Cup run. He was pivotal in what Liverpool needed to do. And, you know, again, goals in derbies, winning goals. We had that experience to draw upon, not just on the field, but off the field as well. Go back to the 90s, we had Robbie Fowler coming through, we had Steve McManaman coming through, but you still had Ian Rush, who again wasn't at his level, but my God, Ian Rush, playing in European finals, being top goal scorer time and time again for Liverpool Football Club. John Barnes is still there. Who do Liverpool have when you're a young, promising player coming through at Liverpool? Who are you turning to? I think Adam Lallana's probably closest to that. What has Lallana done? He's still improving. He's still being dragged up to a higher level, I think, by the manager. But the manager, I think, is brilliant at what he does, and I think he has the ability to drag the team up to make them better than the sum of the part, but he can't do that on the field. We need someone who can come on in those situations and be that for Liverpool. I mean, I'm open to suggestions. Who do you think it is? Please do throw me some names in the comments below. I want to know, who could we target who fits that mold? And I'm talking age 28 to 35, was world class, maybe still is world class, who can bring that level and bring the level up of the players around him. Because I genuinely think that's what Liverpool need to get from being a team of nearly men to getting over the line. It's being able to turn to someone and go, Sadio Mane goes, wow, look at him. I want to be more like him. I want more of him in my game. Philip Coutinho turns this guy and goes, wow, what an extra professional. Look at how he dives to win free kicks and penalties in tight situations. So yeah, Liverpool desperately need that. And that for me is the key thing that Liverpool need to do in the transfer market this summer, is go out there, make a signing that every other team goes, ooh, yeah. Why didn't we think of that? Why didn't we go for him? Why didn't we offer a little bit more money and get him? Whoever that may be. Again, let me know who you think that might be in the comments below. There you are. That's just my opinion on what I think Liverpool need in the transfer market this summer, for what it's worth.